Morning, Tom. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, this year, your play is called Refugee. Can you give us a little bit of information about your play?
Um, well, it's called Refugee because I wanted it to deal with a social justice issue, which was the theme of uh, the season, and so it's sort of a metaphor for the situation in facing the country now, where people are fleeing from oppressive circumstances or hostile circumstances and coming to our borders. And it sort of deals with the question of what should we do? Now, it's not a play that has an easy answer to that question, but I just wanted to uh, show that situation in kind of a microcosmic way.
Absolutely. So, what was your process writing Refugee? Did you come into any difficulties? What prompted you to write?
Um, what prompted me to write it?
Yeah.
As I said, it's kind of a metaphor for immigration. That's why it's called Refugee. And so the two of the main characters, Evie and Daniel, are sort of like a little nation of two. They have the resources, they're safe. The outside world is has some sort of pandemic going on, very um, uh, apocalyptic, and yet they have the resources, they have the food, they have the water and guns and protection. So they're safe, they're kind of set. And then along comes an outsider who is fleeing the hostile world outside, and um, I wanted to show that it's kind of difficult to know what to do because they are divided in their opinion. So Evie wants to take Arlen in, and Daniel wants to keep him out. But so the question kind of comes up: is Daniel a villain? Well, if he is a villain, I wanted him to be a villain that you could kind of identify with or sympathize with to some degree. He has legitimate concerns about whether the resources are going to last. If he starts taking in people, he has legitimate concerns about whether or not Arlen might be there to harm them. Because I know that if someone rang my doorbell in the middle of the night seeking help, I would be scared. I would not necessarily know if they really were in distress or there to harm me or what. So there's some concern on that. So anyway, the play progresses, and they have to resolve what to do about this person. So that's why I wrote it. That's what triggered it off.
That's awesome. And maybe that will give us some insight on if something like that was to ever happen, how we could react. That's amazing. So, what has been your experience? Did you get to watch the actors rehearse your play? Were you able to see any of the?
Oh yes, yeah. I attended quite a few of the rehearsals, and well, first of all, it was really an honor to be chosen to have my play produced. And it was a lot of fun to watch the play develop because I was very curious, or I'm very curious about the process that a director and actors go through to try and put together a play. Plus all the support people and what actually happened. And I think the most interesting thing was seeing Kate go over the play in great detail, scene by scene, line by line, analyzing it and trying to extract the meaning of each scene of each play, each beat, and trying to communicate that to the actors and how that all fed into how they played their roles, trying to get them to understand, what was the purpose of the play. So yeah, that was all very interesting, very satisfying, very very cool.
That is awesome. It has to be, a beautiful process to see the art that you spent your time and put your heart into just being brought to life, really.
Yeah.
have you written anything similar to this at all? Is this your first time? Or do you see yourself writing any more political plays?
I certainly see myself writing a lot more. I have written, I have taken classes before. In fact, I took this same class before, the playwriting class, the first beginning one, and that was a lot of fun. But yeah, I've written a number of little 5 and 10 minute plays. This is my first attempt at doing something longer,
Wow.
so had its unique challenges.
Absolutely. We're definitely excited to see it. What's something that we should know about you, either as a playwright or just as an individual?
uh, I think maybe most people who haven't met me would it would be interesting to know that I'm a little older than the average community college student. I'm 67, and I retired. I retired from my job several years ago, and I was an artist. I was a video games artist. So I worked for a local company called Sony Online Entertainment, and did a we put out a product called EverQuest, which was very popular in its time. I don't know if people have heard of it nowadays, but it was one of those massively multiplayer games where you play. It's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons online. So I worked for them I worked for the video games industry for maybe 20 years, and then I retired to do this because this is fun.
That's awesome. They definitely both sound equally fun. That's exciting. Well, thank you so much for being with us, Tom. We're definitely excited to see your play. Is there anything else that you want to address, that you want to say before we sign off?
No, I think that about covers it. So thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Tom. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.